concat, substr, length, instr, lpad, rpad, and trim are the character manipulation functions that are covered in this lesson. Concat joins values together. You are limited to using two parameters with concat. Substr extracts a string of determined length. Length shows the length of a string as a numeric value. Instr finds the numeric position of a named character. Lpad returns an expression left padded to the length of n characters with a character expression. Rpad returns an expression right padded to the length of n characters with a character expression. Trim trims leading or trailing characters, or both, from a character string. If trim underscore character or trim underscore source is a character literal, you must enclose it within single quotation marks. The example in the slide displays employee first names and last names joined together, the length of the employee last name, and the numeric position of the letter A in the employee last name for all employees who have the string rep contained in the job ID starting at the fourth position of the job ID. Single row functions can be nested to any depth. Nested functions are evaluated from the innermost level to the outermost level. Some examples follow to show you the flexibility of these functions. The example in the slide displays the last names of employees in Department 60. The evaluation of the SQL statement involves 3 steps. 1. The inner function retrieves the first 8 characters of the last name. Result 1 equals substr, last underscore name, 1, 8, 2. The outer function concatenates the result with underscore us. Result 2 equals concat, result 1, underscore us. 3. The outermost function converts the results to uppercase. The entire expression becomes the column heading because no column alias was given. Numeric functions accept numeric input and return numeric values. This section describes some of the numeric functions. Round, column, expression, n, rounds the column, expression, or value to n decimal places or, if n is omitted, no decimal places. If n is negative, numbers to the left of decimal point are rounded. Trunc, column, expression, n, truncates the column, expression, or value to n decimal places or, if n is omitted, n defaults to 0. Mod, m, n, returns the remainder of m divided by n. The round function rounds the column, expression, or value to n decimal places. If the second argument is 0 or is missing, the value is rounded to 0 decimal places. If the second argument is 2, the value is rounded to 2 decimal places. Conversely, if the second argument is -2, the value is rounded to 2 decimal places to the left, rounded to the nearest unit of 100. The round function can also be used with date functions. You will see examples later in this lesson. The trunc function truncates the column, expression, or value to n decimal places. The trunc function works with arguments similar to those of the round function. If the second argument is 0 or is missing, the value is truncated to 0 decimal places. If the second argument is 2, the value is truncated to 2 decimal places. Conversely, if the second argument is -2, the value is truncated to 2 decimal places to the left. If the second argument is -1, the value is truncated to 1 decimal place to the left. Like the round function, the trunc function can be used with date functions. The mod function finds the remainder of the first argument divided by the second argument. The slide example calculates the remainder of the salary after dividing it by 5,000 for all employees whose job ID is SA_rep. The Oracle database stores dates in an internal numeric format, representing the century, year, month, day, hours, minutes, and seconds. The default display and input format for any date is ddmonRR. Valid Oracle dates are between January 1, 4712 BC, and December 31, 9999 AD. In the example in the slide, the higher underscore date column output is displayed in the default format ddmonRR. However, dates are not stored in the database in this format. All the components of the date and time are stored. So, although a higher underscore date such as the 17th of June 03 is displayed as day, month, and year, there is also time and century information associated with the date. The complete data might be June 17, 2003, 5 hours 10 minutes and 43 seconds p.m. The RR date format is similar to the YY element, but you can use it to specify different centuries. Use the date format element instead of YY so that the century of the return value varies according to the specified 2-digit year and the last 2 digits of the current year. The table in the slide summarizes the behavior of the element. SYSDATE is a date function that returns the current database server date and time. You can use SYSDATE just as you would use any other column name. For example, you can display the current date by selecting SYSDATE from a table. It is customary to select SYSDATE from a public table called dual. Because the database stores dates as numbers, you can perform calculations using arithmetic operators such as addition and subtraction. You can add and subtract number constants as well as dates. The example in the slide displays the last name and the number of weeks employed for all employees in Department 90. It subtracts the date on which the employee was hired from the current date, SYSDATE, and divides the result by 7 to calculate the number of weeks that a worker has been employed. Date functions operate on Oracle dates. All date functions return a value of the date data type except months_between, which returns a numeric value. Months_between, date 1, date 2, finds the number of months between date 1 and date 2. Add_months, date, n, adds n number of calendar months to date. Next_day, date, char, finds the date of the next specified day of the week, char, following date. Last_day, date, finds the date of the last day of the month that contains date. The above list is a subset of the available date functions. Round and trunc number functions can also be used to manipulate the date values as shown below. Round, date, FMT, returns date rounded to the unit that is specified by the format model FMT. If the format model FMT is omitted, date is rounded to the nearest day. Trunc, date, FMT, returns date with the time portion of the day truncated to the unit that is specified by the format model FMT. If the format model FMT is omitted, date is truncated to the nearest day. In the example in the slide, the add_months function adds 1 month to the supplied date value, the 31st of January 96, and returns the 29th of February 96. The function recognizes the year 1996 as the leap year and, therefore, returns the last day of the February month. If you change the input date value to the 31st of January 95, the function returns the 28th of February 95. The round and trunc functions can be used for number and date values. When used with dates, these functions round or truncate to the specified format model. Therefore, you can round dates to the nearest year or month. If the format model is month, dates 1 to 15 result in the first day of the current month. Dates 16 to 31 result in the first day of the next month. If the format model is year, months 1 to 6 result in January 1st of the current year. Months 7 to 12 result in January 1st of the next year.